It's spongy, wrinkly, mostly fat, and our body's most complex organ. The brain controls just about everything we do 24/7, 365. And when we say complex, we mean it. The National Institute of Health is currently spending $4.5 billion over the span of 12 years on brain research alone. But what's even more complex than this brain is this brain. In fact, 90% of brain growth happens before kindergarten, which means a child around this age has more than double the brain activity than any adult. So, why does this matter? And is there a simple way to understand what a child's brain is going through?
When we understand how a child's brain works, we are able to understand them in bigger ways.
This is Dr. Payne Bryson, co-author of the New York Times bestseller, The Whole Brain Child.
If I know that when emotions run really big in a young child, I know that then when they're falling apart, having a hard time, having a big reaction, me lecturing, me saying all kinds of things that they should have done, all of those kinds of things, I know are not going to be very effective.
Our brains mature at a very specific pace, each part developing at varying speeds, like the prefrontal cortex, which continues to develop until around 25 years. But that sounds a little complicated, so let's try to simplify. Let's split the brain into just two parts, upstairs and downstairs. Like a house under construction, the brain puts in all the basic essentials like breathing, strong emotions, and your fight, flight, or freeze response downstairs. Think of these like the bathroom, kitchen, and living room of a house. All that good stuff. And since they're so essential, the downstairs finishes developing pretty quickly. The upstairs, on the other hand, is more complex. This is where our thinking, planning, and imagining takes place.
This upstairs brain does these incredible things. It allows us to overcome fears. It allows us to become flexible problem solvers. It also allows us to think about the outside world. So it's the part of the brain that also gives rise to empathy. So this is a really powerful part of the brain. And I think of this upstairs brain as the seat of social and emotional intelligence and the foundation of our mental health.
We need both the upstairs and downstairs brain to work together. So we build a staircase, and this staircase is super important.
As the brain develops and as kids have repeated experiences to build and develop and use that upstairs brain, we build a staircase so that the upstairs brain and the downstairs brain are integrated with each other, connected to each other, so that they can operate in the world with a whole brain instead of a reactive downstairs brain.
When that staircase is functioning well, people are more likely to think before they act, regulate emotions, and show more empathy. But this ideal functioning can be hard, especially for children. While the downstairs of the brain, with its strong emotions and impulses, is fully built and working in young children, remember, the upstairs is still under construction well into a person's 20s. More than likely, the case will be an overreaction, like throwing a tantrum over something as small as not taking turns on the playground. Once that downstairs brain takes over, it takes hard work to get the upstairs, which is not yet fully developed, working properly again. So, what can we do?
This is an incredible opportunity to give your kid's brain practice going from a dysregulated, falling apart, out of control state back into a regulated, in control of themselves, handling the situation state. The way that kids learn how to self-regulate and how to get back in control of themselves is by letting their brain have lots of practice doing it with enough support. So when we soothe and comfort our children when they are in distress, it reduces the amount of reactivity in their nervous system, and they learn that at their worst, when they're having the hardest time, they can count on us to show up for them.